It was a quiet and calm night at Sparrow Hill Village. Tangle the lemur and Whisper the wolf were both getting ready for bed. I'm glad that Amy assigned us to be roommates, the lemur said. They had been roommates for a week now. Me too, Whisper agreed. I'm so happy that we got to defeat me a few months ago. We should show that octopus who's boss, did we? Tangle said. I was waiting to put up an end to his mayhem, or ever since he took off the rest of Diamond Cutters away, the wolf said, before lowering her head into sadness. You really miss them, huh? Tangled asked as her best friend nodded her head sadly. Hey, you can't blame yourself, she said, putting her hand on her shoulder. It's really not your fault. Don't let your sadness and mimic get the better of you. Whisper looked at her friend and gave her a smile. You're right, she said. While I've never forgive that Mimic and Eggman did to the Diamond Cutters, I'll never forget my closest companions. Tangle nodded her head. Yep, she agreed. Look on the bright side. You still have your wisps, and you still have me and Jewel. You still have all your friends like Team Sonic, Team Rose, Team Dark, Team Chaotix, Team Dimension, Team Babylon, and Styx. And what a large number of friends do I have too, Whisper said. Thank you, Tangled. She gave her roommate Rumi a hug, and no problem, Whisper, Tangle said as she shared a hug with a best friend. Then Whisper checked her watch. It was already 9:30 p.m., and it was getting pretty late. She said, we better get some sleep. True that, Tangle agreed as she let out a yawn. Besides, we gotta meet up with the gang at the Station Square Arcade Lounge first thing in the morning. The Station Square Arcade Lounge is basically a building with both of the arcade and lounged areas. It also has created a cafe where people can go grab themselves a coffee or a frappuccino. Anyway, after they brushed their teeth, they went both into their beds. Good night, Whisper, Tangle said. Good night, Tangle. The wolf turned off the lamp while she and her best friend called it a night. Approximately 3 hours later, Whisper began tossing and turning, even moaning in her sleep. No, she muttered. No, not my friends. In her dream, she used her whips to take down the security so she can get inside Dr. Eggman's base. Once inside, she snuck inside the base and quietly made her way towards the main room. Once they were done, the snuck inside the base quietly made their way to the main room. There were all of her friends, from Tangle to the Dream Dimension, were all trapped in gigantic cages. Once she saw that they were trapped like helpless animals, Whisper called out to them. Guys! She caught their attention. They tried to reach out for the wolf, desperate to get the strong steel bars that were blocking the way. Whisper! Watch out! Sonic shouted. It's a trap! Lavinia called. The doctor will drain your energy too! Shadow screamed. Who did this to you? Whisper asked. This is no time to explain, Whisper. Tangle answered. Now it's the time you gotta run. Go before he finds you, Amy demanded. Eggman? The wolf guessed. No! The voice said. They were referring to me. Whisper turned around to see her long time no see enemy, Mimic the octopus. She couldn't believe that seeing him alive. Mimic! She yelled. Didn't we get rid of you last time? Did you think I would come back? The octopus asked with an evil grin. He had begun to walk towards his old teammate. Do you really think you could get rid of me? Whisper noticed that the Mimic was getting closer, so she pointed her variable weapon on him. Don't you come any closer, Whisper demanded. That's what seems to be the problem, my dear, Mimic asked. His tentacle-like hair was wrapped around her shoulder. Aren't you happy to see your old friend? She pulled herself away from him, proceeding to point her weapon at him. I wouldn't really call your friend anymore, Whisper said. Not after what you did to Diamond Cutters. You still miss them? He said. Well, they are here. Her fallen teammates, Smithy the lion, Slingler the ocelot, and Clairvoyance the howler monkey appeared in their capsules. Whisper became shocked at the sight of her companions. Don't be afraid, dear, Mimic said. These are our teammates. Come now. Take a closer look at them. The wolf walked a bit closer to the capsules. As she did so, she saw her former teammates as ghosts. Whisper, run! Slinger screamed. Mimic is trying to trick you, Claire cried. And he and the doctor will take your energy, Smithy shouted. Feeling sorry for her teammates and helpless for her current friends, Whisper broke down into tears and got on her knees. What have you done to them? Whisper asked as she tried to be brave, but her voice was shaken at the sight. Oh, the doctor and I just drained her energy, Mimic answered. That's the same time we will do to your friends. Why? She asked. Why would you and Eggman do this to us, Mimic? He came across the capsules to the sobbing wolf. Don't cry, my dear, he said. Everything is going to be all right. He used his tentacle-like hair to wrap it around Whisper. That is, once the doctor and I have your energy. She realized exactly what Mimic was plotting, but it was too late. His tentacles trapped her, taking her away, wisping by the process. Oh, Dr. Eggman, he called. We have about another victim whose energy needs to be drained. Dr. Eggman appears from the shadows. Did you say another victim? He asked. Yes, Doctor, Mimic said. And finally I have a long-term enemy, Whisper the wolf. Whisper tried with all of her might to loosen the grip, but it was too tight. Eggman walked towards her and began to examine her. You have to took a look at her determination, he said. Even a temper of an echidna. I heard that, Knuckles said. Shut up or you'll be next for your energy to be drained. Eggman demanded Knuckles as he backed away from the bars, comforted by his girlfriend, Lavinia the cat. Where was I? Oh yes, he continued the diagnosis of Whisper Stagman's skills. I see. All these skills are just what we need for your Robotnik copy, a Zombot. Whisper couldn't believe what Eggman said, neither her friends. Zombots? Whisper repeated. This caused Sonic to get really furious at the doctor, and he grabbed the bars while screaming, You will never get away with this, Eggman! Silence, Hedgehog, or you'll be next in line, Dr. Eggman threatened. Now, without further ado, please welcome my assistant, Dr. Starline. A septenarial yet cruel platypus named Dr. Starline came into view. He was holding a laser gun in his arms. Good evening, Whisper, he introduced himself. My name is Dr. Starline. Dr. Eggman and Mimic told me that a whole lot about you. Whisper struggled to get to Mimic to let her loose. You three will never get away with this, she said with her raisin voice. You're going to regret this for the rest of your lives. This is where you are wrong, Miss Wolf, Starline said. We will actually rejoice you and see how your friends are helpless in a world filled with zombots. He locked and loaded his laser gun before pointing at Whisper. Now it's time to say goodnight to your freedom forever, Starline said, and with that being said, he aimed the laser gun and fired it at the wolf. As her energy was being drained, Whisper felt weaker and weaker. Once every one of her friends and her teammates screamed in horror as they could see the life being drained from Whisper, whereas the enemies began to laugh. Mimic dropped a weak wolf on the floor and began to sing his solo while telling the others and her friends that they will haunt them in their dreams. Come on, dear, said the skeleton, sitting her closer to her. Dirty secrets, empty memories, and broken hearts across the floor. I was knocked out heels over head, so you've been dragged me by my feet into a ghost town, where you buried me. No one heard my screams. No wonder. Life is so alive, but it died in its sleep. I am now dead, and I live in your head, and I will haunt your dreams. No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. And so go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So good luck finding your better. Run away, friend, if I tell you, you couldn't tell. I have got your thirst for blood, a substitute system, breaking melodies, carving bullets into my gun. So I tripped, stayed, and followed every word. Little spirals in their faces, catch a close friend. Turn an enemy just to watch them burn alive. No one will love you like I did, and will treat you like I did. So go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, and will treat you like I did. So good luck finding some better. Someday, you will find that many picture perfect guy, and I'll chase you with my words with poison. Until that day arrives, you and swine take to the sky. Fill your void with open eyes, so no one will see and love you like I did, and will treat you like I did. So go on now with that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So good luck finding that something better. No one will love you like I did. I will treat you like I did. So go on and wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will fight you like I did. So good luck finding something better. Suddenly, Suddenly, Whisper woke up, screaming and gasping for breath. Tangle could hear her friend scream and run to her side. Whisper, are you okay? She asked. Whisper took a look at her roommate with fear in her eyes. Tangle? You're okay, she said. Faint, Tangle, and chaos. She hugged Tangle as tight as she could, begin to speak and sob. Whisper, what's wrong? Tangle asked. I had a nightmare, Whisper answered. It was horrible. Aw, I'm sorry, Tangle said as she hugged her best friend back. Can you tell me what the nightmare was about? At first, Whisper was reluctant to tell her friend about the nightmare, but she decided to do so. Okay, she said. She told the lemur the entire nightmare. This led Tangle to feeling scared, even feel sorry for her. Oh my chaos, she said. Yes, Whisper added, and Mimic was there too. Mimic? Tangle asked. But didn't we just get rid of him months ago? Yes, and then he said that he couldn't be defeated, Whisper said. That doesn't make any sense, the lemur said. How could he not be defeated? I'm entirely not sure to myself, Whisper answered. Whisper, I'm so sorry, Tangle said, giving her a hug. Thank you, Tangle, Whisper said. She sobbed over her best friend's shoulder for roughly about 5 minutes. After Tangle managed to calm Whisper down, the girls went back to bed. However, Whisper couldn't go back to sleep, out of the fear of Mimic returning to finish the job. I don't think I could go back in my sleep anytime soon, she said to herself. Tangle saw her best friend tossing and turning, without success, so she thought out of a way to get her roommate to fall asleep. Whisper, do you want to have some pound cakes and hot chocolate? She suggested. Whisper looked at her best friend in confusion. My treat, Tangle said, giving her a wink. I would love that, Whisper said. Thank you. They made their way to the kitchen and grabbed themselves some pound cakes. In addition, they made their cups of hot chocolate. After treating themselves with a midnight snack, they went to the living room and watched some comedy shows from our gang, aka the Little Rascals, the Three Stooges, but for quite a while, Tangle began yawning out of tiredness. She looked at Whisper to see if she was getting tired yet, only to see her let out a quiet yawn. The wolf was not too tired due to her nightmare a few minutes earlier. In fact, she was scared to go back to sleep because she had a bad feeling that Mimic might come back in her dreams. They continued to watch comedy shows in hopes of drifting off. To make the story along short, however, they didn't. When the morning finally came, Tangle and Whisper were on the couch trying to catch a little sleep. The 6 a.m. alarm sounded and causing them to wake up. Their eyes were red and tired, and there were also bags from under their eyes from not getting any sleep that night. What time is it, Whisper? Tangle asked as she checked the time on her wrist. Oh my gosh, Whisper exclaimed. It's 6:01. We're going to be late, Tangle said. We better get ready to go. Despite their tirednesses and clumsiness, the girls quickly got dressed and got ready for the day before dashing out of the door to meet their friends in Station Square.